I'm transgender, trans female. I have Tourette's syndrome and ADHD. I'm 32. I'm the former Miss Transgender UK from 2017. I'm a TedX speaker, and for a job I'm a crisis worker. Overwhelming. Any system like that is a journey. Yeah, whether you're doing a pageant, whether it's a TED Talk, when you do any sort of big event like that, it's a journey from the application stage, being accepted, the build-up, picking out, well, for Miss Transgender UK, it's picking out my dresses, doing charity work, creating a portfolio, creating a project and awareness for it and lifting it off the ground. And you put your life into it. Yeah. When you get there on the day, the night before there's nerves, you wake up there's nerves. Before you're about to go on stage, there's nerves. Then you walk out onto the stage and you get nothing but adrenaline, excitement. Then you go backstage and you get changed into your next outfit and you get ready to do your speech and this, that, and the other. It's a roller coaster of emotion. So when it comes to that final part where side awards are announced, when I won Transgender Top Model of the Year, that was me made. So the crown after that felt out of reach, because I thought if I won one thing, there's no chance I can win another. Yeah. And then my name was announced. It was shock. It didn't feel real. It was a complete out-of-body experience. When the room rose and they were clapping, cheering, whistling, everybody afterwards coming up for photos and engaging, plastering it over social media, and the press got involved. In that split second, it honestly felt like a dream. It didn't feel real. And that was the surreal bit. Yeah. By accident. The modelling world and pageant world is a very cruel industry. For some it's empowering, for some it's soul destroying. And I had a friend who was a model. She couldn't drive. She said to me, "Will you take me to the shoot?" I said, "Yeah, of course I will. It's in Manchester." She said, "Tell you what, why don't you model as well?" I said, "No, don't be stupid." It was an application to Alternative Model of the Year. So you pay 15 quid to enter. Even if you don't get through, you get a copy of professional pictures. So I went out, got an outfit, and I did. I had my pictures took, the first time ever really, in front of a backdrop, in front of studio flashes and cameras. And there was something about it that, when I'd gone to the effort of getting my makeup done, having my hair done, you know, looking all nice, getting these pictures back, I looked at myself and I thought, I look alright. In fact, look at where I've come, you know, in my transition. It did empower me. In fact, it made me feel amazing. And then she went into pageantry, and I thought, nah. And then I went to a charity photo shoot where the organiser was part of a pageant system, and I thought, nah. I was sat at work one night, so I googled pageants, and a lot of them discriminated. A lot of them said, in terms and conditions, you must be a naturally born genetic female, basically deliberately excluding trans. Yeah. They're also a lot of them would exclude mothers or married women. You have to be single with no children. That's so you can commit to their requirements if you win. Mm-hmm. But the pageant world is very discriminatory, very discriminatory. It's progressing, but it's still not there. So Miss Transgender UK came up and I thought, I haven't got a chance, but do you know what? Maybe that's where I belong. Yeah. So I applied, and that's how it all started. The reality of them. Miss Transgender UK doesn't exist anymore, but natural systems, which are the generic Miss World, Miss Universe, all the others that come alongside, Galaxy, UK Power Pageant, World, all these, they say they're to empower people, but in reality, I've done a pageant with a swimwear around. I've never felt more uncomfortable. I compete in a pageant where half of your points, or 40% of your points, are made up from charity fundraising and doing appearances. I'd gone out, I'd raised pretty much the most money out of everybody. I had done charity events, I'd run myself. Everywhere I went, I took my sash getting appearances in, even with celebrities. I was stood next to celebrities with my sash saying, if I win this, I'll be the first ever trans person to win a natural system against all natural born women. So I had sponsors left, right and centre. I was having £1,400–1,600 dresses being offered to me for free as sponsorships, just so people get the name to me on a risk that I might win, on a gamble. I was really going for it, and I did go for it. One of my friends was there. The minimum charity amount of money you could raise was 50 quid, otherwise you couldn't compete. She pulled 50 quid out of her purse and said, I'll put it in myself, so she hadn't done any work. Her eco-wear, while we were all doing dress rehearsal, she was sat backstage finishing her outfit off, so she didn't even rehearse. She came runner-up, I didn't even place. She's a published model, gorgeous, stunning woman. And it just proved to me that I didn't belong, and it was all looks, how you walked, you know, and I don't think a true queen of a pageant system has to walk perfectly, have the perfect poses to be the ideal representative. Pageant system should be, the queen should be someone that's shown they're putting the work in, that they care, that they're going to carry the title and do good with it, inspire others to do stuff non-for-profit, for charity, for a cause, or whatever. It shouldn't be somebody because they look nice or fit that criteria. And I feel like that's what pageantry still is to a degree. And that's what I hate about it. If you go and watch most systems, you'll see that 99, particularly Miss World and Miss Universe and other places, you'll see that all of the girls, none of them are too skinny, none of them are too broad. They are all this certain size, this certain height. They're picked because they fit this perfect box. And they look good on paper. It's nothing to do with how much passion you've got, how much you want it, how much good you want to do with it. It's all about the optics. I think my favourite aspect would be, I think there's a stereotype where when you enter a system, the other girls that are with you, you're competing against them, therefore you must hate each other. It's not the case. I've grown friends for life from pageantry. It doesn't matter if I won or someone else won. We're friends for life because we're supporting each other backstage. You know, there might be 12 of us in one dressing room doing each other's bras up, or, you know, you've got this big dress on, can you do my shoes up because I can't, you know, we do that for each other. I think being different put me at a real disadvantage. And the work I'd put in wasn't respected the same as had I have looked perfect or walked perfectly. That's definitely wasn't up there. That's because of the way I am, not because of the work I've put in. Knowing what I know now, I would have not applied, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself through it. Miss Transgender UK, however, if that was still existing and I rewound, obviously what I did was enough because I won the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if I was to do it differently, I would have not accepted the responsibility of as much sponsorship as I had. The more sponsorship you take, the more pressure you've got on you, which I learned. Like, when I was in the media and the press, I had to thank and make sure they included my sponsors. On one time, out of 5 businesses that sponsored me, like my dress and this and that and the other, shoes, one person was missed, and that wasn't my fault, it was the news editor's fault, but it was too late, it was published nationwide. And the grief I got from said sponsor for missing them, even though it wasn't my fault, well, I should have checked, it was all, the grief I got was horrendous. The pressure put on me, it's like, it's not my fault, I'm doing my best here to represent you, but I can't control the media. What they do is their own beast. I'll definitely handle media differently as well, because I was naive to media, and that's what nearly killed me, drove me to suicide, the way I was treated.
Yeah.
Not just by the media, but by the public and their comments. That was soul destroying. I think it's got to be 50% media, 50% social media.
Yeah.
Social media really chewed me up. Every time something positive came up, the trolls came out.
Yeah.
And there'd be more trolls than support, because trolls and keyboard warriors are out in force, but nice people don't always want to take them on because they don't want the drama. Trying to report something to Facebook is impossible, they don't recognise it, particularly if it's trans related. I see images being shared all the time, things like, if the burqa offends you, share this, and there's a picture of a Muslim woman in a burqa. Why isn't Facebook bots recognising this and stripping it?
Yeah.
They don't. But yet, you post something silly, and you're getting a ban for it. The balance is wrong. So partly social media is to blame, but I've got a love-hate relationship with media. For example, ITV, the BBC and Sky News did nothing short of phenomenal jobs with me. I was not only supported, but I was respected. There was a Spanish news outlet though that did a piece on me, and it was in Spanish, so I had to get it translated by my friend who was Portuguese.
Yeah.
She struggled a bit because Portuguese and Spanish are dissimilar but different. Well, she'd say to me, how far has this gone? I said, pretty far, it's out and I can't change it. I didn't write it, they just asked me for a few things. They took pieces from here, there and everywhere and put it together themselves. They'd misgendered me the whole way through. They put he instead of she on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was in a foreign language, I didn't know who was saying it, of course all the comments were in foreign.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything about it. And that it consumed me in a way, because it was out there. And the whole story they put together was about how I'd made the finals of Miss Inspiration, and I was kicked out of the system because their terms and conditions said genetic born natural woman. But I hadn't stupidly read the terms and conditions. I provided my passport as ID, which was female. So as far as they were concerned, there was no different. As soon as they found out, I got the boot at the stages of finals. And I was really hurt by it. So I sold the story to SWNS, which originally was for the Doncaster Free Press. I was too naive, I didn't realise that SWNS also owned the Express and multiple other outlets. That's how the story in the Express came out. Another reporter had taken bits from it, rewritten it. That morning I got another phone call with a friend saying, "Did you know you was on LBC radio this morning?" I said, "No." So I went on catch up and I caught up on the radio. The person at LBC reading the newspapers out had seen it, and he was saying about how Bea Wood, Miss Transgender UK, is kicking out of this system. He looked at my picture of me being crowned and he said, "Well, I'm looking at it. It's, I don't know what I'm meant to be looking at. It's definitely not a beauty queen. If this is what beauty queens look like these days, some standards have dropped, something terrible. It's, well, I've seen better looking drag queens than this." And that was on Breakfast Morning, LBC National Radio. So I've got a love-hate relationship with media. Sky, ITV, BBC are fantastic. But all these other places, LBC Radio nearly drove me to suicide. The day after that I was trying to take my life. Because the newspaper and LBC in one day, and then this Spanish thing the week before, it was too much, and the comments supporting these people were astronomical. So I definitely handled media different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I've definitely learned is radio and TV are far better than any newspaper. If you go on TV, they can't manipulate your words. You said what you said.
Yeah.
Radio, you said what you said. They can cut bits out, but they can't edit what you've said.
Yeah.
But when you sell a story, or when they take a story, not even when you sell one, but when they take a story, when they phone you for comment, that's happened. We've got this story, can you comment or can you make a statement on it? It's about you. And I'm like, well, if I say no, what are you going to do? We're going to publish it anyway. Well, you know, you have to.
Yeah.
You've got no choice, otherwise you're not going to get your side across. But even though you don't want to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So definitely with newspaper and social media, I would definitely stay away. The other week I was on BBC Radio Sheffield, which went fantastically. But I had an opportunity to do something in a newspaper as well. I wouldn't do it. Because you lose control. They edit your words, type things up, or they'll type their opinion on the interview, quote you on a few times and put what they want in. That's what destroys you.
Yeah.
Multiple times. When you win something like MC UK, there's automatically an expectation that you're representing a community for the whole country.
Yeah.
If you want a spokesperson for a community, where do you go? You want a spokesperson for Christian issues, you'll go to the Pope, for example. You want a spokesperson for the police, you would get a commissioner or a chief, someone that's worked the way up the ladder and represents everybody and knows the views. So where do you go when someone says, what's the views on the trans community? Well, if there's a current queen from a nationwide pageant, it seems the obvious choice for them. So there's an expectation, and when you've won something that big, you want to be the voice. There's so many things out there going on. There's Women's Place UK, which are fighting against Gender Recognition Act reform. There's the LGB Alliance, which recently got charitable status. Someone's taken them to court to get it removed because they are a anti-trans charity. They should never have been given charity status. Not because of what they're against, but because charity status, the Commission does say to be a charity, you mustn't be political or against anything, you've got to be there to help, not be against.
Yeah.
They are even just reading their website that they're quite open about. They are anti-trans, campaigning for single-sex spaces, making sure that matches your genitals, this, that, the other. They're really hammering the trans community. It's group of people that have just come together to hate on our community.
Yeah.
Well, someone needs to have a voice to stand up to them. And it keeps evolving. So there was always pressure and expectation. Sometimes that I put on myself, but a lot of the times that other people put on me to be that voice. If I had have hidden away, not represented the community, then what would have been the point of me existing and winning that?
Yeah.
I would say beware. If you're going to do it, and you've got the emotional stability to face rejection and take it well, then go for it. If, however, you're doing it for self-love, if you're doing it because you think you'll feel better about yourself, tread carefully, because for some people it will empower them, but for many it can destroy you.